Welcome to Tina Tries. Was last week's LCARS computer terminal too small for your iPad? This week, we're building a bigger, easy-to-print LCARS-themed iPad stand. I'll show you how next on Tina Tries. Today's build will hold a 13-inch iPad Pro. This file is by Scarf Meadow and can be found on MakerWorld. This was printed on an H2C, an H2D, and an X1 carbon in silver PLA. This print took just over 12 hours to complete and used 575 grams of filament. You'll also need 4 2x16mm metal dowels, 4 M3x8mm screws, some super glue, an inkjet printer with glossy photo paper, a 13-inch iPad Pro, a rubber mallet, and a hammer. As usual, I'll link everything in the description below. Let's check out the build. Here are the printed pieces. Let's assemble this iPad stand. For this one, I am going to be using miter apple. I may or may not use the activator spray. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. Step one is going to be attaching the front of the frame together. There are these little cutouts on one side of the frame and the other side has the matching notches. So we are going to fit those into their matching notches on a flat surface because you want it to be flat on the front when it's done. We're just gonna put some glue in the notches and set these together. And I will use the activator spray on this part because this is the back side, so it will not show on the front. And there we have the front of our frame put together. I think using the spray on the miter apple will be just fine for this. Next step is going to be to attach the back parts of the frame together like this. So on each side of the frame, there are little tiny holes here for putting in our 2mm by 16mm metal dowels. So I'm going to use a hammer to gently tap these into place. So there we have our 4 pins in one side of our cover. Next step is we are going to put a little bit of super glue on this inside seam, and then we are going to attach the two halves together. This time we're going to use a rubber mallet to help pound it together. You do not want to use the regular hammer on your frame because it will break. All right, so let's put a little bit of super glue on the seam here. We're going to spread it out really thin. We do not want this leaking out. Now let's see if we can get all of these holes to line up. All right, let's start with this middle one. All right, so there is the back of our stand. That was a little bit tricky, not gonna lie. Next up, there are 4 holes in the back of this here, and we have 2 braces that are going to go across, and we are going to screw these onto the back. This just gives it more stability and holds it together permanently. So we are going to lay this down on its face. We're going to line up the holes and everything right here. And we are going to screw these into place with 4 M3 by 8mm screws. And there we have the 2 braces across the back. So now that is one solid piece. Next, we are going to glue this beautiful design into this little indented space right here. So this is a file that Scarf Meadow provides on MakerWorld, so you can download this. I printed it on glossy photo paper, and I definitely recommend doing that because it looks fantastic. And we are just going to use a little bit of super glue and glue this right into place in that little box. I am only going to put a little bit of super glue around the edges here because I don't want my picture to warp. And there we have our little display image in there. The last step is going to be to glue our cover plates into place here. So this is going to line up with the edges and we are going to glue that into place. One thing to keep in mind when we glue this on, you do not want to put any glue on this top edge of the back panel because this is how we're going to slide our iPad in and out of here. There is a nice edge all the way around, so we're just going to put the glue on here and even right here so that it sticks to that side of the image, and we are not going to put any glue right here. Make sure that when you glue your frame in, it says LCARS Access on the outside. You don't want to glue this on backwards. Make sure that your edges are lined up, and I am not going to use the activator spray on this step because I do not want to ruin this picture here. There we go, we have the cover in place. I am going to let this dry for a few minutes and then I will show you how this looks with the iPad in it. This is now dry and we are going to put the iPad into place. So this fits a 13-inch iPad Pro. Our iPad just slides behind the frame if we put it in straight. There we go. You can still reach your volume buttons on the top here. There is a port on the side here, which fits your power cord so you can still charge it without having to take it out of the case, which is really nice. And Scarf Meadow also included a link to this really cool interactive LCARS website, which you can click on different ships and it brings up the schematics, which is really, really cool. You can also look at like the warp drive. It brings up a schematic of your warp drive. So cool and very nerdy. And there's also different, you can see the power routing in the ship. Shows the little warp field pocket. So I definitely recommend checking this website out because it's really cool. Here is the completed iPad stand. I love this design. It is extremely sturdy and it allows for charging, changing the volume, and also Face ID because the camera is uncovered by this nice little cutout in the top here, which is super convenient. I can do pretty much everything on my iPad without having to remove it from the stand. Here are my rankings for this project. Ease of printing. This one gets a 10. I didn't need to change any of the built-in print settings, and you don't need an AMS for this one. All I did was combine the front two frame pieces onto one plate to cut down on the print time. The printing process was extremely easy and there were no issues. I was a little concerned that PLA was going to be too weak to hold up such a heavy iPad, but it actually works really well and the design of the stand makes it very strong. So you don't need to print this one in any special kind of filament. Ease of assembly. This one gets a 9. As usual, Scarf Meadow has provided really great detailed and picture-driven assembly instructions. The only tricky part is getting the two back pieces of the frame put together with the little pegs. It was a little bit difficult getting everything lined up, and also you have to be very gentle when tapping it together so that you don't accidentally break anything. Make sure that you use a rubber mallet when you're tapping the two pieces together. I don't recommend hitting your PLA with a hammer. Scarf Meadow also provided a couple of folders that you can download from MakerWorld. These folders include Star Trek style fonts so that you can make your own backgrounds, shortcuts, and widgets if you really want to get creative. I highly recommend this iPad stand even if you're not a Star Trek fan. That's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed this, please consider liking, sharing, hyping, and subscribing. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new episodes. I now have channel memberships active if you want to show your support and help keep the channel going. I appreciate it. Let me know which of the two iPad stands you would prefer in the comment section below, and I will see you on the next one.